Today's topic is very relevant and something which I have experienced or I experienced a lot when I was walking the path. So today we will be talking about the trap of spiritual experience. And years ago, in 2005, I was walking through a lake in the Himalayas, and suddenly something that I had been waiting for a long time happened. The boundary between me and the universe dissolved. Everything became a vast sea of consciousness. There was no more Rajiv. And I had read about this state, this experience in hundreds of books. And now it was happening to me. And I felt that my long search had finally reached its end. But within a few weeks, the state faded and the whole universe again became an ordinary universe, and I became an ordinary person inside it. But what happened next is what I have watched happen to most of the seekers, and it generally takes the same shape. What I wanted now was a return of that vast sea of consciousness, that boundless state where there was no ego, no I, where I was one with the universe. And what had subtly happened, and I saw that years later, that I had set out in search of truth, but I ended up in search of an experience. So I set out in search of truth, but after this experience, I ended up in search of an experience, not truth. And this trap of experiences, of seeking experiences, either you are seeking a particular experience which you have not experienced yet, or you are seeking an experience which you have already had. And most of the seekers I sit with in the satsang, they carry a version of it. Someone had an experience of boundless love that has not come again in the past few years. And he grieves it the way you would grieve a lover. We remember the souvenirs, so I call these experiences souvenirs. We remember the souvenirs we carry back from these places which we visit briefly. All these experiences are brief, they're transient, but we carry back the souvenirs. Before we go ahead, let's do a small practical test. So let's give 1 minute to remember the most cherished or spiritual experience that you've had in your journey, the most intense or beautiful, something which made you feel one with the universe or boundless love. Now, let's spend some time to think of the experience that you crave. What are you craving on your journey? What kind of a state and experience you're looking forward to or you're wanting? Now, is it possible to throw both of these away, discard them entirely? The experience you had in the past, it's dead, it's gone. And the future experience that you want has not arrived. And you see the resistance when you want to let go because the whole identity of seeking is built around these experiences. And it doesn't matter what the experience is or was. It might be a beautiful, soft experience, or it might shake the foundation of your very being. But the moment thought says, I need that, the what is being replaced by a pursuit, by a want, by a desire. You're pursuing something which is not here. And in most of the spiritual communities, experience gets romanticized and intensity gets mistaken for depth. Different states get confused with truth. The market loves this. Teachers can package it. Students can chase it. Social media can popularize it. And this is why the path becomes frustrating for sincere seekers. Because in the end, if they read all the different teachers and the books and different accounts of Buddha or Christ or any of this teacher, they're drawing a mental map of a state, of an experience. But you see, teachers like Nisargadatta or Ramana, they pointed not to the experience, but they pointed to something which underlies all experiences. Doesn't matter what that experience is, that experience can be spiritual, but that experience can be mundane and ordinary, or that experience can be full of suffering. All are experiences. There are different categories of experiences, but they are experiences nevertheless. And what is the basis of all these experiences? Now, if you see, the experience on its own has no value unless it has an owner. Once I own an experience, then it becomes valuable for me. So, this owning of this experience is done by the mind, the ego. But What happens if we don't own any of these? And is it possible to live in a state where we can let these experiences arise and let go? And if we can do that, then something more incredible, something more subtle, something more amazing comes into focus, and that is the experiencer. So you might have 1,000 experiences, but the experiencer is just one you. I am the experiencer. I am the experiencer of the suffering. I am the experiencer of this vastness. I am the experiencer of pain. I am the experiencer of joy, of this longing, of this wanting to break free, of all these different things which arise every morning and night. So, can I move the focus from experiences to the experiencer? Because what is aware of these experiences, what is aware of this bliss, is not bliss. Consciousness is a screen on which all these different experiences arise and they fall. Some are very beautiful. So, I'll tell you a very interesting story of a sage. It's not a very well known story, it was told to me by one of the roaming monks in the Himalayas. So, there was this not very well known sage in Varanasi in India, and he was a very direct, abrupt guy. So, one day, one of his disciples had an amazing experience. So, he came down to the sage and said, I had this amazing experiences where I could see, the complete cosmic reality. And I saw the cosmos being dissolved and opened up, and there was light everywhere. And the sage listened to that experience for a while. And when the disciple finished recounting the experience, you know what the sage said? And it was a very, very weird story when I heard it for the first time. The sage said to him, he said, here is some money. Go out in the evening to the picture hall and you can watch another movie instead. Of course, it took me a while to understand what the sage was trying to do or trying to tell the disciple. He was trying to tell him what you have watched, this incredible experience. It's like watching a movie. You can go out in the evening and go and watch another movie. That is also an experience, maybe a fabulous movie, and this is also an experience. Though it is incredible, but still it falls under that category. And from that level of truth, it's not very different. And he was trying to get the disciple off the bandwagon of experiences into the heart of awareness itself. The experience you're waiting for it's not waiting for you. It came once to show you something true and it dissolved itself. What remained behind is you, who started feeling the absence of it. And you created stories around it, or maybe created stories around the future me, which will have this experience of enlightenment. The real is not hiding in all these rare states. It is present as the condition of every state. And I think it's very important to understand this, so I'll repeat it again. The real is not hiding in states, in beautiful states, in rare states, in amazing states. It is present as the very basis of every state. And once you understand this thoroughly, not just intellectually, that the whole orientation of your path will change. Then the question is no longer how do I get back to that experience, or how do I experience that state? It becomes like what is here before, during, and after every experience? What remains? And this is where your path becomes more mature. You stop being addicted to states and experiences. There is a willingness to accept the ordinary as sacred as well. And this is what Ramana or J. Krishnamurti or Nisargadatt, they try to point back again and again in different ways. All of you might be listening to so many talks throughout the week, podcasts, other teachers, other groups, books, YouTube videos, endless philosophies. But you need to take away something from each talk and apply it in your life. Otherwise, they are just words which will not have any impact on your transformation. So, if you want to take away something from this talk, try to develop the capacity of letting go of both the experiences, the past, the one which you want, and the future ones, the ones which you have not had, but you still want and you still crave.